Hello everyone, welcome to another gaming video in my channel, and this time is of course Sovereign of Discord, Fire in the Lake expansion, prequel actually to the main Fire in the Lake game by GMT Games, of course. And it's just a couple of weeks after I have reviewed and played through Fall of Saigon, which came out the previous year, but it's only now that I got the chance to play it. And a few weeks after that, it's Sovereign of Discord. Sovereign of Discord covers the events of 1961 to 1963, the prelude to the Vietnam War as we perceive it. And I have studied through the rule books and the other stuff there, and it's a very interesting prequel or expansion, and I think it will be very well received by the fans of Fire in the Lake. So now we've got the chance, at least some of us will get the chance to play through the whole campaign from 1961 to 1975 if you combined both expansions and the Fire in the Lake base game. And yeah, they have GMT Games and the designers have taken extra care to include scenarios that can be used for exactly that purpose. That means to use Sovereign of Discord to prepare the situation, then play a full Fire in the Lake game, and end up with Fall of Saigon. And yeah, there are many options how to do that. And the good thing is that everything is also supported by its own bot system. It's Ming Mang, mispronounce everything, I'm pretty sure of that. For a Sovereign Discord, it's the Chung bot for Fire in the Lake, and it is the Tyson for Fall of Saigon. And what I'm going to do in this, well, I don't know if it's going to be a full playthrough. I'll definitely try for it to be one, but it's going to be I want to show everything again. It's going to be a 4-player one. If you remember, if you have watched my Fall of Saigon playthrough, you will remember that it was just a 2-player game. There is a 2-player version here, and in Sovereign of Discord, but I think the 4-player game, I'll go for the 4-player game, and I think it's interesting because the bots are very interesting, and it's got some differences in how NVA and US play. So I think it's a good idea to get some to get the 4-player scenario, the 1961-1963 4-player scenario, which will be let's say more familiar in how eligibilities and stuff work to the players of the base game. So yeah, what you will need, of course, the map from the main game, the cubes and stuff from the main game, and you're going to need the cards. Yeah, if you're playing the 61-63, you're only going to need the cards from the expansion. We'll show you them to you from the setup, and of course you're going to need the expansion rules and the Minimang, the non-player rules and reference. And it's always, unless you're extremely familiar with, of course it's easy because almost everything is covered by these play raids, all the rules for the Sovereign of Discord, and the operations, the special activities, everything is covered in this play raid, and of course the expansion rule. But the expansion rules, as well as the solo bot rules, don't cover everything. I mean, the rules are there just in these booklets they're written, only the rules that are different from the main game are written. So it's a good idea to keep the original rules of play handy, so as to consult any rule or stuff that you don't remember. So yeah, and it's a good idea to have it there. Of course, we're going to need the minimum 4-player non-player 8 card, which covers the usual stuff: how to choose spaces, priorities, the events for all 4 factions. There is another one for 2-player. We have used the one for 2 players in Tayson. Now we're using the 4-player non-player card, and of course some more aids. Cup round, back full of DM sequence at the end of the game. If you want to continue, you conduct the full of DM sequence if you want to continue into the base game, and of course the non-player cup round instructions and some more instructions there. So that's what you're going to need from the booklets and aids that come in the expansion. And yeah, of course, it's always a good idea to have the playbook handy and some other material. There is also a couple of rata there. You can get it from the site, and yeah, it's not that many, and yeah, only a couple of details, which we'll see when if and when they come up. So that's what we're going to be using. So let's start by setting up the game. So let me get these out of the way and prepare the game. And how do we start? By the, of course, setup and scenarios. We go there. We use the setup and scenarios. This is the scenario we're going to be playing. 4-player, 1961-1963. Forgot to mention that there also, I have some of them in the unboxing. These are bonus cards for the base game. They're not used in Sovereign of Discord per se, but it's a great addition to the base game. But let's not get carried away. So this is the scenario: 4-player, 1961-1963, riding the Tigers back, the prelude to the American War. And of course, since we're going to be playing solo, at least, well, I'm going to be playing one of the factions as player, and all the other 3 factions are going to be controlled by the bots. So, of course, what we're going to need is this one also, and you can see here there is some amendments to the setup, so it's a good idea to see where they differ. And of course, this setup, see it's here, and the setup also is here, and so some of the stuff just overlap, and you see the preparation, but here the 2-1, this 2-1 supersedes this 2-1, so we forget about all this, and we use just this, as amended, of course, by the provisions here. I know it may take a little bit of getting used to, but it's really simple. Just the first time until you realize how the rules interact. And frankly, even in my previous playthrough, it was only a couple of times that I had to consult the actual rules of play, the play rates, and you know, the material in the expansions was more than enough for some playthrough. Of course, it's the first time I'm doing Sovereign of Discord. Yeah, it's going to be a learning curve, maybe steep. We'll go through it together. But of course, what I wanted to also mention is that I don't expect any grand strategy or a very you know, or any strategic wisdom. I'm just trying to learn how to play and show you how things work in general. So that being said, let's go with the steps of the setup. So we start the setup by placing 3 new tracks on the board, and these are the ones: the Hanoi track, the Washington track, and the Regime Stability track, which are adding quite interesting elements in the game. So, and there is a suggestion in the back of the playbook which shows the setup for scenarios and says suggests how we should put these. And yeah, we'll start the Regime Stability track. It suggests putting it here, yeah, next to the Irving leader makes sense. And the Regime Stability tracks how stable is the DMs, actually the sovereign of Discord, that's who it is. Not that one, we'll see him later. And it tracks how stable the regime is. And this number, you get it says 8 minus 5 here, so it's time the regime loses stability. The 8 gets diminished, so you don't want this to happen. Also, the number here represents the cost of actions, the cost of operations. So yeah, the more unstable the regime is, the more difficult, the more expensive it will be to run operations. Yeah, which is quite thematic, and this is why it's a good idea for the Arvin player to keep it as stable as possible. So next we place the Hanoi track, and since we're not going to be using any NVAs, non-NVA troops or bases here, it suggests here. And of course there's no trail. There's no trail in Sovereign of Discord. It comes in the base game. So yes, that's where the book suggests to put them. Yeah, it covers a bit out of play, but okay, we know where it is. We're veterans of the game, aren't we? Okay, so this is Hanoi track, and since again no US soldiers yet or have found their way, just visors, I'm afraid, from 1961. That's a good place for the Washington track, which tracks some things. And yeah, these are just suggestions. There is some text, and we'll place some cubes and yeah, bases there, which will become available depending on the let's say posture. If you remember the US posture from previous games, that's, yeah, now we've got Washington track and Hanoi track, which is essentially the base things, and where the two capitals of the forces patronizing, I mean NVA, not NVA, North Vietnam, acts as patron for the VC, for the Viet Cong, and of course Washington acts the same for Arvin, or not Arvin, actually ARVN, the Republic of Vietnam. So yeah, it plays important role. Maybe in our playthrough I'll get them somewhere off board so we can easily see. We'll have to see. Let's set up first as suggested, and then we'll see if it's a good idea or not. So if it was a two-player game, we've also got two-player initiative track, which replaces, you remember it from my previous playthrough of Fall of Saigon, where I have played the Black April two-player scenario. Now we're not using this because we're using the four-player, the normal, let's say, option. And if you're curious about how it works, you can always watch my Fall of Saigon playthrough. Also, it's the same system that has been used in Colonial Twilight. So if you watch any video with people playing Colonial Twilight, you'll see how this initiative track is used in the game. So yeah, that's it. That's the tracks. Yeah, it's and yeah. Besides, there's also one more thing we have to do. To place 2 on-track markers here in the 8 and 9 base spaces for the Viet Cong, because if you have a short eye, you see here in the Hanoi track there are spaces for bases. So yeah, these will become available when the Hanoi posture actually changes, goes to limited bag. It's both the same. I mean, it says yeah, we may as well see it now. Yeah, okay, this is it. Hanoi track, moderate ascendant. The moderate didn't want any active military involvement in Vietnam. They wanted to concentrate their efforts in the north and then go south. Okay, bad joke. Reluctant backing, limited backing, robust backing, and militant ascendant. Yeah, militant ascendant means we are going full in, and it's the same, more or less the same faction, different names for the Washington track, from minor involvement to major involvement, which is what historically has happened, I guess. So yeah, that's what the tracks, and I think the next step is to set up the deck. So here are the cards. Sorry, we'll be using. It's the Sovereign of Discord deck. They're separated by year, 1961, 1962, 63, and the relevant coups that end its phase of the game, its year of the game. Of course, we've got new pivotal events for each faction, and of course we start with the Sovereign of Discord himself, Ngo Dinh. Yeah, okay, I'm very sorry if you're Vietnamese or you speak Vietnamese, and yeah, I'm very sorry, but I'm just an ignorant man here. So yeah, so this is a coup, but it's not actually a coup, since it's the card that starts as the Arvin leader. So that's the one, and okay, no other cards are used. So yes, we get to place this one. Is going to be the Arvin leader. So yeah, it's got the special ability. Let's not forget about the abilities of the leaders. Fall of Saigon didn't. There wasn't any special ability in the leader used, so we didn't have any. But now there is its support phase. I mean, so there are 2 support phases during the coups. The last coup doesn't count, but okay. Patronage +3, and VC may agitate in 1 extra space. So yeah, that's good to keep in mind. Yeah, it's a solo game, so solo players tend to forget some stuff, so don't be too harsh on us. So let's prepare the mini deck. Normally there would be card drafting, and there are suggestions for new players and concerning which cards to draft, but in the solo game, if we're using NP player factions, then there's no card drafting. So yeah, that's how we create the minimum. Okay, we'll create. It says do not draft event cards and resource cylinders. How? Okay, we'll get to resource cylinders, but we're not going to draft. So we will randomly select 8 cards for each year. So I'm going to do this just after that. But let's go to the mini deck. Okay, these are the large format bolt cards. So let me place them here. You can see it's large format you have seen. So what do we get? There are 14 total, and it's just one card for US and the NVA, and 6 cards for each of the other factions, Arvin and VC, because it's this period represents the rather limited involvement of both North Vietnam and the USA in South Vietnam things. I mean, the main efforts will be from these two factions, and these two factions, of course, they've got the conditions, and they can get things. They will try to get things their way, so they can win, but with a limited set of options. Limited, but in no way weak. I'd say they've got some rather strong options, which will greatly affect how these two factions play. And what the rules suggest, and of course it's logical, is we get, since they're one of each, we set them aside. We don't shuffle them, but we shuffle these together. If you remember, I didn't do that in my previous my Fall of Saigon, but it was a bit, because it's just 6 or 7 cards each time. It's not very easy to shuffle them properly, so it's better to have all the cards in one deck and shuffle, and just ignore the cards you don't want. So I think I will be playing Arvin. It's got some, well, I could just play the bots, and in the example of play, they've got a solo example of play, rather an NP, like player example of play, and there they use the 4 bots by themselves. It's quite playable, but I'd like to have it, for it to be meaningful and for me to keep engaged, to just I think that's that's enough shuffling. So this is the Minh Mang deck, and as usual, it doesn't matter which card it's up, it's going to be to the bottom. So and this happens no matter which card is up, even if it is the active factions. I mean, if in our first card, and the cards we draw, first eligible is VC, they're not going to be using this card, and this happens because the player shouldn't have a chance to prepare for what's coming, because you can see this from back. You could see what's the VC is going to. So if you don't, you just flip it and you go through them until you find a card. So yes, there is the element of surprise of what the bots are going to do. So that's the Minh Mang deck. That's ready. Let's put it aside, and now we'll prepare the deck. I mean, of course, we don't shuffle the pivotal events. Okay, so each faction will get its pivotal, and there are rules on when and how they will play the pivotal events. And I think no pivotal can be, no pivotal can be played during 1961. That is until this card happens. I think all 4 pivotal events, all 4 pivotal events have the prerequisite that NLF spreads has to be played first, and then you can play after NLF, and the same is in each pivotal. So we're going to randomly draw 8 cards from each of these one, shuffle in the bottom 4 cards of each year's cards, the coup card, and then we're going to place them in order, 1963 last, 1961 on top, and see what happens. But first, let's, because these are in order as I have just opened the deck, and they're straight out of the factory. So yeah, there are 24 cards for each year, and you use each time 8 of them, so just a third of the cards. And drafting, okay, you can draft, so you have, if there are players playing, there are 4 players, you draft, so yeah, you've got some control over the events. You get some events you consider critical or match your strategy, you can draft them, but this helps replayability of the game, because you just use a third of the cards. It's year, it's time you play, it's just a third of the cards for each year, and the way you shuffle them and how the order in which they turn up is quite important. So yeah, there's a lot of replayability, event-wise at least. So okay, let's do that. Of course, I'm going to shuffle, not going to get the time, waste your time shuffling. We'll be back after I shuffle everything. So now I have shuffled the cards. We get, I've placed them underneath its year's coop, so that's not to mix them up. So let's get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 cards. So the rest you don't get to pick, so we set them aside, not to be used. Same here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Set aside. And 1963. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And yeah, of course, I've made a mistake. Come on, that's 61, 62, 63, and yeah, that's okay. Yeah, that's how it should be. So yeah, each coup card goes into the bottom 4 cards. So this system ensures that you will play a couple of cards. So bottom 4, 1, 2, 3. This is the top 4. Bottom 4 are these, 1, 2, 3, 4, and yeah, it's difficult. I should give it to someone else in the house to shuffle them, but okay. I think okay. Well, let's say we've cut. So that's these go on top. So that's 1961, which is going to get on top now. 1962. 1, 2, 3. 4, 1, 2, 3, 4 here, and cup goes in. Let's give it a good shuffle. Okay. Bottom 4, top 4. That's 1962. Okay, 1961 goes on top of 1962, and again the same. 1, 2, 3, 4 top, 1, 2, 3, 4 bottom. This goes in, shuffle, cut. These go on top. And this is the last deck, the 1963 deck, and this is the Sovereign of Discord mini deck for our game 1963 to 60. And I'll place it I think I'll place it off board. There's not enough space on board to place it. Okay, I think this is as good a place as any, but if it proves difficult, we'll move it somewhere else. We'll see. Keep in mind that because this is a normal 4-player game, we'll get to draw the active card, the ongoing event card, and we're going to pick the upcoming card, as is usual in these games. If it was the 2-player game, we wouldn't be previewing the next card. So yeah, that's again different, but you have seen this in my Fall of Saigon playthrough. So now we go with the rest of the setup, and because so now it's time for the resource cylinders, and and stuff, and all the stuff that goes on the various tracks. But because the bots, as you remember, they don't use resources. I mean, in this game, NVA and the US don't use resources. Of course, not even as human players. There are only Arvin and VC resources that we track. And if okay, now I will be playing Arvin, so the resources and economy are going to be tracked normally for Arvin. Aid is always tracked no matter if Arvin is a non-player or a player, and I'm going to track also and the VC. The VC is not resources per se that we track, but it's their agitate total. So let's get the calendars and stuff and start populating the tracks. So we start by getting this on track. So we get aid starts at 10. Patronage is also at 10. Okay, and economy starts at 15. And now resources, the Arvin gets starts with 20 resources. Yeah, that's tracking the Arvin resources. And the VC would start with 5 resources if they were tracking resources. Instead, they track the agitate total and the instructions. The Minimang bot instructions tells us to roll 1d3, which is actually 1d6 halves, and use that number as the agitate total. So let me roll it. I should get a dice cap, but okay, let's try not to. Ooh. Yeah, like it. So that's 3. Remember, it's d3. So they start their agitate total starts at 3. Okay, not bad for them. Now we get to the tracks. The Hanoi track starts at 1, which is reluctant. Okay, reluctant backing, and the Washington track, quite interestingly, starts at 0, which indicates a minor, and just can you see this now? Yeah, starts at 0, which indicates a minor involvement in the conflict so far. So let's move to the resign stability. Let's move there. There is tracking. Where is it? Yeah, that's it. Resign stability is at 2. Yeah, it starts stable, but so, and then we go to the point trackers. Okay, patronage starts at 33, and yeah, let's get this up here. Starts at 33. You will see when we finish it up how it is because it's coin control, population under coin control, plus the patronage, which is 10, so there's 20 for 23. Opposing bases, nothing changes for Arvin and VC from the base game. Opposing bases, they start at at 12. Yeah. Start here, 12, and their victory margin is here 36. Conan patronage is 51 of the base game, but no, wait, we'll get to that. And now the changes is for the US and the NVA, because they use these totals. Come on, focus. Can't seem to get it to focus properly. Come on. It says, okay, come on. We've got something new here. We've got no NVA control because there are no NVA forces. So it's uncontrolled here. The NVA tracks the uncontrolled spaces plus the cadres, which is a new concept for sovereign Discord. And now, quite interestingly, the US, come on, doesn't focus properly, but it says here support minus 2 times Washington, which means you got to how do we say? Oh, come on. Got to remove twice the value of the Washington track, so it diminishes the points by that. So it's population to support, but the higher the involvement of the US, the harder it is for them to win. So where do we place them? It's okay. US goes to 14. Let's start here for start here 14, and uncontrolled, and oh god, this is again 14 also for the. They both start at 14 points. So yes, that's it. And to finish off this segment of setup, we're going to set all factions eligible. Yeah, as I've said, we're playing with the full 4 factions, so nothing changes. So all factions are here, no particular order, just placing them here. It's the cards that are going to decide who goes first and who goes second, or whatever. So yeah, as I've said, it's and there's also something quite important that I have forgotten. The victory margins. The victory margins are different, with the exception of VC, of the Vitco, who they have the same victory margin, but there is also a counter for, you know, consistency. The other factions have different victory margins. US, it's a victory at 25 instead of 51, Arvin at 41 instead of 51 also, and NVA at 21 instead of 19. I mean, yeah, it's harder for the NVA, but yeah, they've got other advantage. So let's place these on track so as we remember where they're, because they're different. In Volkswagen there was no difference. Well, the calculation was different, but not the actual margin. But here we changed the victory conditions. So yeah, let's place them on map on the track so we can better keep track of them. Yeah. Okay, that's better. As I've said, Arvin is here. We don't get to move these. I don't know. Okay, this is the same. It's here printed side of the map. It's the same, but just for consistency. It's nice that they have included US 25 and NVA at 21. And yeah, that's this part of the setup. And now we will start placing, populating the map with units and tracking control and stuff in its province. Well, I'm not going to show you how we place everything, placement of everything, because it could be tedious and doesn't matter. You can just follow the rules. But what I want to show you is that we first get, and of course we'll populate the track, so we just place cylinders and stuff where they show. We'll just get the 6 strategic hamlets in. Yeah, they start out of play, and they're brought into play by the Arvin pivotal event. And strategic hamlets are quite important because they prevent VC from doing some stuff, and of course they deny them some victory points. Okay, some points. So yeah, let's go, and keep in mind that there we place 6 strategic hamlets for the map. There is 1 spare, as it was the case in Fall of Saigon. There is one spare cube. so don't get this mixed up. At 6 we use in play. There were some spare counters, I think, as well. So yeah, that's it. And then we'll just to show you how it's done. You just nothing much. You just follow these instructions in its province, or say in its track. It says position 1. You got to place in its position, and it's outlined in its track what goes where. And then for the Hanoi track the same, and then for the cities and provinces it says exactly what to place in its one. So I'm going to do this, and we will be back for the setup. So setup is now complete, and as you can see, I have changed the positioning of the 2 tracks. I think it's better that way, and that's how the tracks let's see how the tracks actually work, or at least they're supposed to work. I mean, you can see, depending on the position, on the involvement of the 2 powers there, more troops and guerrillas and cadres will be available, as they increase their backing, more will be available to the bots and the player. So of course, and if the backing can be increased mainly by events, and also if there is less backing, what will happen is, not immediately, but during the next coup, if let's say we've got up to 3, and then the backing goes back to 2, you don't immediately remove these from the map to the track, but during the next coup there is a phase where you'll be forced to return these back to the track to reflect the diminished backing. So yeah, that's how tracks work. And yeah, let's see the overview of the map. And you can the good thing is that there is, at the back of the playbook, there is the I'll show you, there is an ND61 setup map, so you can see and verify that you have done everything correctly. And you can see now, you can see the cadres here. The cadres are placed on top of VC bases, and that's how the NVA gets them into play, and of course gets the points from doing so. Also, you'll notice that there is no NVA control, because there are no NVA forces per se, and that's why the NVA tracks the uncontrolled spaces. Coin control, of course, as usual, but the VC, even the base games, don't control anything, and it is the same as the aim of the NVA in Sovereign of Discord, to not control anything. And yeah, for the coins not to control. You see here on track the 2 bases that are on the track. We have seen them, and of course you will notice that they're missing many pieces, no US troops, and these cubes here are actually called advisors, and these 6 cubes are the only US forces, along with just 1 base in Saigon and some US-led irregulars that are available in this game. Also, you'll notice that there are less. There's just 1 base, 1 Arvin base available. There are 10 less troops available, and less police, of course. The rest are not in the game, and it represents the situation during the years of DM's regimen. That's what the forces that are available to the players. Of course, the NVA have no forces at all, except for cadres. They intervene by directing and helping the VC. The VC have their full complement of guerrillas, provided they have they secure Hanoi's backing, because on track there are 10 guerrillas, 2 bases. They're on track, so to get them they have to secure through events, otherwise, mainly through events, they have to secure Hanoi's backing. And I think that's the setup. One thing you may have noticed, and it's worth mentioning, is that we haven't placed anything in North Vietnam or Laos or Cambodia. Usually we'd place something, but in Sovereign Discord, none of these spaces play in the game. They don't. They're out of play. They can't be used. Nothing can be placed here. So North Vietnam, Laos, and Cambodia are out of play. Sovereign of Discord takes place exclusively in the provinces and cities of South Vietnam. So that's an overview of the setup. And I've got the cards, and so I think I'll also move the deck of the cards here, Sihanoukville, since we're not going to be using this. Yeah, that's better. So we can, flip the cards and, maybe I'll discard them. Right, next we've got events there. Maybe I'll place them somewhere better as we play. And that's it. That's everything we need to play. And that was the rather long setup and introduction to the game. So I'm going to call it a day, a session, whatever, and we will be back with our first round, which means we'll turn the first cards and begin this playthrough. Again, thanks for watching. I hope the setup and the various info has intrigued you enough so you continue watching. And if you like, please like and subscribe and stuff like that, and comment. This helps a lot more than you think. So that's all for now. See you in the next episode.